Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to my peeps wherever you are in the world. This is Old Man Yammy M signing on. And I went to go see that movie Avengers, and I was about to say Infinity War, Avengers Endgame last night. And today I am going to do a spoiler on the movie. But I'm going to let you know right now, I don't know everybody's name in the movie. I'm just going to do a ghetto review of the movie. So, I just would like to say that viewer discretion is advised. I'm just going to say what I'm, just like I was just talking to one of my homeboys out in the street, how the way the movie went down. So I'm going to let you know right here. So if you got any kids, let them leave, because this is going to be the street version, the street spoiler of Avengers Endgame. Okay, so so beginning scene. So the Arrow dude, he was playing with his kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? He was playing with his kids. They was about to have a meal and all that shit. So then they disappeared and shit, and then he was sad and shit, and then everybody was all sad and shit. And then the small dude, he came with his truck, and he was like, man, I just came out of my truck. It was like for 5 hours. I was stuck in there for 5 hours. They was like, man, it's been 5 years. So it was like, man, I just think I figured out how way we could go back to the future in my truck and shit, and bring, you know what I'm saying, go steal the stones, and then we could go ahead and change the future. So they was like, all right, cool. So the ninja, he's now a ninja dude, but the Arrow dude, he said, I'll go ahead and do the shit. So they had this juice so that they were able to go back into the past to go ahead and steal the stones. So they tried to test it out. Hulk, the great Hulk man, that dude, he's like regular person. He ain't mean shit. He ain't talking one-liners. This nigga intelligent. So now he lives in France or some shit, and the kids like take pictures with him and shit, and this nigga eating like 15,000 pounds of pancakes and all this other shit. So they was like, hey, we need your expertise so we can go back to the past so we can get these stones. And they was like, cool, all right, I'll go ahead and give my assistance. So he started changing regular size dude into babies. You know what I'm saying? When they was testing it out, changing them into a baby, old man, and then he changed back to his regular self. It's supposed to be funny, ha ha ha. So then after that, ninja dude, the regular ninja dude, was like, all right, I'll go ahead and I'll test it out. You can send me there, because he ain't got shit to lose. He lost family and shit. So the motherfucker went back into the past and shit, and he heard his kids, his wife, and all that shit. So this motherfucker tried to go in, but he got zapped back into the future and shit. So he was like, man, the shit worked. So they was like, hey, we got enough juice for everybody to go ahead and go to different planets and shit, and go different segments to go ahead and retrieve the stones so that Thanos won't have them. The Hulk and Raccoon went to go visit Thor at New Asgard. They had a little town called New Asgard, and they said they don't never, this black chick, she said that they don't never go ahead and see Thor a lot. They'll probably see him like once a year. So the Hulk and Raccoon dude, they went to go see Thor, and Thor, he was all fat and shit. He was like, he was going crazy, playing video games and shit, cursing people out online and shit. And he had a rock dude and some slimy motherfucker with him too. So he was like, man, hey, we need your help. And he was like, man, I need beer, and I need drinks or whatever. So he was like, hey, we need your help. And he said that Hulk said Thanos' name, and he was like, don't ever say that name, And then they said, come on, we need you. And then Raccoon dude said, we got beer on the truck. He was like, what kind? So he went along for the ride with him. So the robot bitch and the motherfucking Black Iron Man dude, they went to one planet. Thor went to his planet. Captain America, he had went somewhere to a base or some shit. And then Iron Man and I don't know who the other dude. Oh, and Hulk, they was in New York. Iron Man was like he was in the elevator, you know, full of dudes, and he said some shit, Hell Hydra, and then they gave him the motherfucking shit, and then he was fighting himself. You know, they fought it. He was fighting himself and shit. You know, they was falling and shit and breaking glass and shit. You know, so he was able to get the spear, to get the spear that and to stun the old Captain America. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was crazy. He was fighting himself and shit. But anyway, okay, so the robot bitch and the Black Iron Man dude, they was on one planet and shit. And the robot bitch with the glass eye, she started having motherfucking problems and shit. So she was having problems with her eyes. You know, her head was hurting and shit. And the other robot bitch that's her past self, you know, she was having those glitches and shit. And then they showed a screen of the future of what they was talking about to retrieve the stones, and Thanos was in the motherfucking building. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, he was like, man, bring her to my quarters. I'm about to dissect this bitch. So then after that, he was like, no, one of his servants was like, no, this is 9 years into the future. This is not her. You know, this is not coming from her. This coming from her future self 9 years later. So he was like, all right, what we gonna have to do is that we're gonna have to figure out a plan how we can go ahead and get 9 years later, because these motherfuckers trying to make me not get the stones and shit. So Thanos had switched, past robot bitch was able to catch up with the present robot bitch and capture her, take her down, you know, and to where she will be able to switch with her future self to go to the future to bring Thanos to the future so that he will be able to get the stones. So, because they was already gone already. You know what I'm saying? So, Arrow, okay, so then on another planet, Arrow dude and the ninja slash Arrow dude and the other, the assassin lady, they was at the one where somebody had to sacrifice themselves in order to get the fucking stone and shit. So they was fighting over who was going to sacrifice themselves. Then both of them had tripped over the mountain, you know, and then the assassin bitch was on the ass end of the mountain, and she said, let me go. So she forced herself out of the Arrow dude's hand. She died. He got the stone. He went back to the future, you know. And then Hulk is in New York, you know. It was this Buddhist monk broad. Her motherfucking ass, she had stone and shit. Hulk was like, man, we need that stone. She had knocked the spirit out of this nigga. She knocked the spirit out this motherfucker, and then he was like, man, you know, his life form was out. You know, he was like a ghost and shit. He was like, man, bitch, we need this stone. And then she was like, no, I ain't giving you the stone. You know, we need this shit when we need to fight motherfuckers, you know, that's coming up. He was like, man, in the future, that the motherfuckers get a fucking stone to Thanos. The wizard dude get a stone to Thanos. And then she was like, he does. Then she gave him the stone and shit. Then Hulk was able to go back to the future. The robot bitch the past robot bitch went to the future. She was able to hijack the motherfucking Back to the Future, the time machine. She was able to hack the time machine to get Thanos specific coordinates so that he was able to go through the place and be in the future. So they was in the future and shit. They was fighting and shit. Then the wizard dude, he came. There was a whole bunch of circles coming out the motherfucking air and shit. And then you seen Black Panther, you seen Spider-Man. All the motherfuckers came out the circles and out the gold circles and shit. And then, you know, he was like, man, you thought of a plan? You know, he said, what's that one that's going to help us defeat him? That's what Iron Man was asking the wizard dude. And the wizard dude was like, if I told you that one, it would not get done. So he was like, fuck it, let's go ahead and fight this motherfucker. So they was trying to get, I forgot to say, Iron Man had built this motherfucking glove, like in Infinity War, he built this glove to fit the stones in and shit. But it was going to take a person with a certain amount of power to do the shit. Hulk tried to go ahead and do the shit, snap his fingers. It did work. but then it brought everybody back. But then that's when Thanos was there. Okay, they was all trying to fight for the glove and shit. Thanos and them, Thanos was beating their ass, and then you know the glove was switching from Avenger to Avenger. It was like they was passing that shit like QB at a motherfucking football game. So you know what I'm saying. And then after that shit, they was just throwing the shit, and then until Thanos caught up with the shit, you know what I'm saying. He was trying to put the shit on. Then this cocky bitch, the bitch that's stronger than everybody in the motherfucker, she come out of nowhere. She fighting Thanos and shit. She blew his ship up. She just flew through the motherfucker like 17, 18 times and blew his shit up. And then after that, the motherfucker, she had like was hitting Thanos in the face and shit, you know, struggling with his ass. And then Iron Man was able to get the motherfucking the glove and shit. And then he snapped his finger, and you know he was all fried up and shit. His arms all fried up to like half his face and shit. And then you know everybody started withering away. That was on Thanos' side, and Thanos, he withered away and shit. And then everybody was talking Iron Man, Spider-Man was crying and shit. Like I said, after Iron Man snapped his fingers, motherfucker fried up, his face fried up, the arm fried up. You know, he's sitting there like, and you know, and then after that, his girlfriend was like, "Don't worry, we saved the day, and you can relax now." And then he died. So then then after that, everybody, I guess that was like friends with Captain America, they was all there, you know. They had the thing that was like helping him breathe and shit. You know, they put that shit in the water and flew that shit in the water. And then after that, they was like, "Okay, Captain America, you gonna go back and return these stones?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm returning these stones. You'll come back in 1 minute." So they had countdown to 1 minute. Next thing you know, Captain America didn't show back up. He didn't show back up. None of that shit. So during the funeral of Iron Man, you see Captain America standing right there. He's sitting right there by the lake. You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, "Man, I want to feel." He was an old man. He was an old ass man now. And this old ass Captain America now. You know, he said, "Man, I want to see what my, you know, live that life, you know." So what he wanted to do is that he wanted to get with the woman, you know, that he was supposed to get with in the past, and he got with the bitch in the past, and you know, and they lived a good life, you know. So he wanted to live that good life. So he wanted to pass the torch on to the bird dude with the glasses. He wanted to pass the torch on to him, you know, and so he's gonna be Captain America now. And then you just saw Captain America dancing, and then that's credit screen. That's how the shit went down. Motherfucking shit was crazy. You know, they had green women in there and shit like that. I think that's that woman from that Galaxy movie. But yeah, that's how the shit went down, man. That's my ghetto review of the motherfucking shit. I always gonna break these motherfuckers down. I think that's how I'm gonna start doing the shit when I go see a motherfucking movie, because I can explain it better like this. You know what I'm saying? I can't explain it, you know, just from detail to detail to detail, detail to detail to detail to detail. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna explain it like this. I bet you motherfuckers will understand what the fuck I'm saying when they go ahead and just keep listening to what the fuck I'm saying. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. This is Old Man Yummy Yam. No. Subscribe. Like this shit. Comment if you want to. What do you gotta lose? So this is Old Man Yummy Yam signing off. You guys take it easy out there. Y'all be safe. Holla at your boy. Peace. Before we do the show, we gon' hit the mile. When I go places, I like to buy. Because I got my own swag, so it's kinda hard to find what I need. So I'm stuck in the mall. I'm stuck in the